Alright everybody, this video is called 1 plus because it's based on some ideas from chapter 1, but it goes beyond the textbook. So significant figures, also sometimes called significant digits. I feel like I've seen it referenced a time or two in the text, but they certainly don't explain to you what they are or how to use them. So that's what this video is about. So this has to do with rounding numbers, which I suspect you've done before. So the general rules are on screen right now. I'm sure you know this. And some problems we deal with may ask us to round our answer to whatever, to the nearest hundred, maybe to the nearest tenth if there's decimals, or it may even say round your answer to 3 decimal places. I'm sure you've seen all that before. What's probably new to some of you is rounding off to a specified number of significant figures. You absolutely need to understand significant figures to take an IB math class, and remember that that is one of the purposes of this course, is to prepare you for that in a few years. And as just a word of warning, there are very special rules for significant figures in science class. I'm not going to get into that. I will let a science teacher explain it to you in the future. I'm aware of them, but we don't really care about them for this math class, and we don't care about them for IB math classes, so don't worry about them. All right, so we're going to look now to figure out what are significant figures. We'll see a few examples for rounding to a specified amount of them, and that's pretty much it. I don't have anything new to give to this topic that's not already out there. There's a million videos explaining significant figures and plenty of websites with examples too. The only thing to watch out for if you go to other resources is the thing I just mentioned about science classes, because there are special rules for them, and you might confuse yourself if you go to a website that's giving you some more advanced information. That's one of the reasons I like to do my own videos for you. So anyway, let's jump over to our friends at Wikipedia to see what the rules are for significant figures. So here we go. First up, any digit that is not 0 is significant. That rule is pretty easy, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, significant. 0 is where the trouble happens. So the next part I think is also pretty straightforward. If we have a 0 in between other non-zeros, they are also significant. So the number 102 has 3 significant digits. The 1 and the 2 are definitely significant, and the zeros in between them. 2005 has 4 significant figures. Both of those zeros are in between 2 and 5. So we see that we don't need to have a significant figure immediately next to the 0 for it to count. And likewise, 50,009, this has 5 significant figures, because all 3 of these zeros are in between a 5 and a 9 if we look far enough. Okay, so far so good. In this first problem, we're going to take 5.371 and we're going to round it to 2 significant figures. We'll see what that looks like. So basically, we're going to start from the left, and we see it's 5.3. Those are the first 2 digits. But the digit after the 3 is a 7. So what happens when it's a 7? That means we're going to round up. So 5.371 is going to go to just 5.4, and that has been rounded here to 2 SF, is significant figures. I also often will just say sig figs for short. So that's that one. Not a lot to it, yeah? Next one, we got 0.0086. We're rounding it to 1 significant figure. So we look for the first significant figure here, which is actually the 8, and we have 8.6. Sorry, 0.0086. And again, that 6 tells us that the 8 should be rounded up. So we got 0.009. That's rounded to 1 sig fig. And the last one, 423, again, rounded to 1 significant figure. Well, the first significant figure is a 4, and the number after that's a 2, so that means we do not round it up, so that's just 400, rounded to 1 significant figure. All right, so I'm just going to do these really fast. So in our course, right, we're just going to need to be able to round answers to a specified number of significant figures. So let's say, you know, it's a test or something, and you're asked to round all the answers on the test to 4 significant figures. Well, you have these numbers on the test. How should they be rounded? All right, ready? First one is going to be 28.04, right? Because these are the first 4 significant figures, and then I see a 9 is after the 3, so I round it up. Letter B is going to be 0.005362. It actually already has 4 significant figures. I can't change a thing about it. Next one is going to be 2368. Those are the first 3 significant figures. After the 8 is a 3, so I don't round up. So I can just say, throw a 0 there. So 23,680. Next one will be 42,370,000. So again, those are the first 4 significant figures, and that 6 right there tells me to round the next one up, and then I just fill in zeros down the line to finish up the number. Letter E is going to be 0.03879. I would not throw a 0 to finish that number up. Why not? Well, these are the first 4 significant figures. After the 9 is a 2. The 2 says don't round the 9 up. But if I were to put a 0 there, then I would have a trailing 0 after a decimal point, and that would be significant. So we don't want to include that one. That would have given us 5 significant figures instead of 4. And that 5th significant figure would have been wrong because we already knew the 5th significant figure would have been 2. Okay, F is 0.006378. Again, these are our first 4. The 9 tells us to round the 7 up, and we don't include anything at the end. Letter G is going to be 0.000899. Oh no, wait a second. Those are the first 4 significant figures. The number after the 9 is a 5, which means we actually needed to round up that 9 to a 10, which means you're going to round that 9 up to a 10, and that 9 up to a 10, which means that 8 is actually going to be a 9. That is now rounded to 4 significant figures. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one was a little bit of a challenge. And the last one will be 43.08. Significant, significant, in between significant, significant. Those are the first 4, and that 6 tells us to round the 7 up, 2 and 8. So that's really all there is to it. In general, look, if you give me more significant figures than I ask for, I will never be disappointed in that. If you want to just copy down every single digit from the calculator, that's cool. But sometimes you don't want to do that. So rounded answers, I will hopefully remember on any assessment to ask for a specific amount of them. The IB generally asks you to round answers to 3 significant figures, but I don't know, we'll vary it up. Anyway, yeah, that's the end.